So I'm going to start with Ethereum because you're here. So and you are in a trade, and it's best that we discuss where you are at the moment. So the daily levels look great for at least a 15, and again, to be very conservative, a 1500 retracement. So on the daily levels, we have reached this divergence line here. So this is a huge daily divergence line, a very long-term one set in April. And it's been touched, it has 3 touches here, 3 touches here, 3 touches here. Could it break it? Yes, it could. What is the stochastic on the day doing? It's turning down. So I'm correlating that to the bearish divergences that are going on the 4-hour and the 1-hour. And I'm saying this can't keep going without a retrace. I have seen it go without a retrace. Absolutely, the market makers do have the liquidity to push it without actually, because the retraces, what the retraces are is the market makers going towards pools of liquidity if they want to catch that liquidity and then keep going. So the market makers at all times have the liquidity to continue going. So it's up to them if they give us those fib levels of retracement or not. Generally, they do give us those fib levels of retracement. This is the space that we've been in. Now, this space can stay between the white line, this white line, and the green line. So the 1500, to make it more simple, it would be 1486. But the 1500, to make it more simple, and the green line here, which the top is where we are right now, around 1760 something. So after this touch to the top, what's more natural to come is a touch to the bottom. So a 1500, this would be a daily level. So this would be the space on the day for this week. So I said a couple of weeks ago that we will be moving in this space. I don't believe we're only going to stick to between 15 and the green line. I think we might come down to the 13 and the green line, but the 13 will become the more likely level once the 15 gets broken. So we'll discuss that when that happens. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Otherwise, at the moment, the 15 is the more likely level to retrace to for this swing. Now, if we are to be very conservative about this, 1630 would allow this swing to actually continue upwards. So if we're looking at the anatomy of this, but again, I'm not a big Elliott wave person. Coming back down to here, which would be a retest of the 55, and then continuing up to here, which would make it a double bottom, a double top structure. Absolutely possible, because I believe this is a 1-hour arc. This is not the double top. I believe this might have the potential of being a double top. We'll see. Again, it's very hard to gauge the movements at the moment because of all the sideways. So I think on the daily arc, this might be the double top, and then we would be heading down and then up again. On the 4-hour, this might have been the mountain peak, and then we might be coming back down for a third drop. So that would be this 1630 would be the retracement that would allow the next level pop. So it would have the space to go up to the next level without breaking of the support of the 55 on EMA on the daily, which is it's a big support to have. On the 4-hour level, and that's why I was saying we need to be patient with our shorts, because on the 4-hour we are in this, I think it's called like a blowhorn. So we haven't reached the top here. We haven't reached this level. Let me check to see what's going on. No, nothing is going on. Okay, we haven't reached the top, the midline here, But if we do reverse back down, and the reason why we would reverse back down, I'll tell you in a second. What I believe is we're putting a lot of pressure on the 20 on the 20 of the 4 hour time frame. So we've had 1, 2, 3, 4 candles on the 20 on the 4 hour time frame. I know that this looks like it's building support, but it's also putting a lot of pressure to break it down. The way the RSI is curving at the moment, I believe, is a correction movement. So, and we've also had a bearish divergence on the 4 hour. We've had this set of peaks here and this set of peaks here, and you can see in the second set of peaks, look at the drop in momentum. So while prices were being held at the same level, the momentum was dramatically coming down. So I believe we might see at least a hit down to this line, and that would be 1578. And if I am to put the fib on this from here, no, I'll only make the local one here. The local one, and that would be, let me magnify this as big as it can get. Look how perfect that touch would be. It would be a perfect 702. So at least the 1580. So this is no longer, the shorts that I'm in are no longer 15-minute swings. I went in them as a 15-minute swing, waiting for them to retrace in a couple of hours and give me the money, but they didn't. They kept going, and they broke through 4 hour levels, and they ended up facing daily levels. So right now my shorts are 4 hour trades, and a 4 hour trade will take about let's say a week in this case to correct. So I would say this week will be about a correction, the correction of this. Can we see a lift up? I'm not so sure. I am not so sure. I don't personally see another lift up from here without a correction. If we do a more shallow correction to the 55 on the daily, so 1630, and 1630 is a 0.5, perfectly okay. Yeah, if we do a 0.5 correction, and we and that would be, in my opinion, the most conservative target in this case. So after how many days of lift? 5 days. So we've had 5 days of lifts without a 0.5 correction. I think this one was a 382, if I'm not mistaken, and I think this one was a 236, and this one same. So Ethereum should do at least a 0.5 correction, and then yes, if it holds the support on the 0.5, it might continue to do another lift up and make another impulse up. But if it fails, if support there fails, and if it breaks the 55 on the daily, because right now we're talking about a trade, a 4 hour trade, and a 4 hour trade has its background on the daily. So if we're looking at the background on the daily breaking, so if the 55 on the daily breaks, a 1500 ETH would seem more likely. So that's how, if I were in this trade, I would have my target at 1580, so the 702. That would be my most conservative target as per my 4 hour level. I know that the daily has a level at 1500. That's okay. I could still be with all of this profit, which would give me 8.8, 80%. If you've DCA'd, that profit is multiplied, so it can be even a 1.6 or a 2.4 x profit. So great. This is quite similar to what I'm looking at my Bitcoin trade as well in terms of profit. Now, moving on to the daily levels so that we can set our daily trades. So today, I believe the first trade to make is from where it is right now, because we're back into the channel. So this is what I've been waiting for. I woke up at 4 o'clock, everything was great, it was in the channel, and then there's so much sideways. It's all like games constantly. I'm gonna change the target. I'm gonna use white lines. I think it's the best. Okay. So this would be from where it is now. If we confirm a second candle in the channel here, the first target would be the 1630, which is a 0.5 correction. I'd say this would be the first trade to make. 1630 would be the first line of defense. Now, in terms of our weekly space, the weekly space that we're gonna move in has widened slightly. So it was more narrow last week, but now we are in a slightly bigger space in terms of the mid levels. Okay, this would be it. I would bring it lower, but then I'd be losing touch with these, and I think these are actually quite important. There are a lot of wicks through this, so take it as a range. So take it as the range between 1630 and 1670. So this would be the range here. And again, it could go down to the midline and then and break this range and then go up onto it, turn it into support, and continue its journey upwards to 1850 and maybe a double top situation at 2020. So the first trade to make, just to be very, very clear about this, is this one. And I'll make it white as well. There we go. Then, if this line breaks, we have the next line of support and resistance. And again, I will make this a little bit wider because of what happened last week and the previous historic level here. There. And there. Yes, I'd say this would be our support and resistance space. There we go. I will expand it. Okay. Okay, so if continuing the journey downwards, there we go, and up here. Okay. Continuing the journey downwards would be the next target down to here, and this would be 1540. Let me check to see. I said my target would be 1580, the 702. So this would be the technical target, as in the trend line, where the trend line would hit, because we are so tight here connecting these wicks. However, now I have this rule, and it's a rule that's based on experience. I haven't read it anywhere. I'm pretty sure it should be somewhere, because I feel there's like a balance in the market. You see everything that came out of the channel here. If price action goes back into the channel, there will be a swing that comes out at the bottom the same way this came out at the top. And you can backtest, and you will see this happen more frequently than not. I have seen this, the way I've seen this with the RSI, I have seen this with channels. and I've learned to trust it. So I will trust the fib level here rather than the technical target here, and I will put the technical target at 15. 1580. Where is it? It's a little bit above. Where is it? Come on. There. Okay. Okay. So this would be my second technical target, the 702. Now, for the big spill here upwards, we have the 786, 1553, and then this space between, and I'm looking at the 4-hour levels because again, this is the space that we're moving in. This is no longer a 15-minute swing. So we have this space here between the 786 and 1. So without the swing being broken, without the origin of the swing being broken. For the uptrend to continue. So here we have 1491. Let me take a little bit of, and I'll be very cheeky with this, but I will do it because I want to see if and how it plays out. I'm gonna take that spilled there and put it here. Ta-da! 1480. What is 1480? It's our level on the day here. 1486. And here we have 1481. 1480. What was it for? It was 4080. No, it's 4088. Sorry, guys. Sorry. So this was 4088. So this would be another trade to make from the 702 to this line. So I would be making this short in 3. Now, I have to be mindful of how I said, because you guys already have some experience. So I would be making this short in 2 pieces, to be honest. The first time I would take profit is at the midline. I would take profit at the midline because it's too... So I'm very suspicious about all of this happening right now. There is a lot of... what did Roy say? It's the news, buy the rumor or something like that with Ethereum right now, with all the changes that are happening in the network. So I would be taking my profit here at the 0.5 retracement. Then I would be doing a second trade with a 70% take profit at the 702, leaving 25 in for this line, for the 1489, which is the level on the day, and DCAing. So I would go in when the midline is confirmed. I would take 75% of the profit here, and then I would DCA when the bottom of the channel breaks, and I would take my profit here. Because this could be just what happened here, but on the way down. This channel is not complete. I think it has still 2 full swings, 1 down, 1 up to go, at least that. So I would be careful to take my profit. Now, these would be the 3 trades on the way down. I don't see at the moment any breakout trade in sight. So I don't see any breakout trade because at the moment we are in this space, and I believe we're going to consolidate in this space. We might consolidate in this space till the end of the week, and towards the end of the week we'll see if something broke. But that's where we are. I can't see any breakout at the moment. In terms of moving upwards, if this level is turned back into support, the next level would be 1850. So 1850 would be, just a second, 1850 would be the next level up, and then after 1850 I'll put it there. Yes, 1960. This is where, of course, it doesn't mean that it won't get to 2000. I'm not saying that, but as a trader, I'm mentioning the places where I would be taking profit. If I were doing these trades, this is where I would be taking profit. So I would have one trade here, and another trade here. Also, if I were shorting, I would make sure I have the, let's say, 2100, yeah, 2100 level covered, because I don't want to see a spike up just like that, you know, and spike me out. But I would be, what I'm doing on my ETH and Bitcoin trades is building up my shorts, so I'm DCAing on the way up, because again, this is getting overextended. This is a very abrupt swing upwards, very abrupt for Ethereum, even more so for XRP and Bitcoin. It's literally hanging on by a thread. And I believe this was a stop hunt liquidation swing for everybody that went into the swings here when this level broke, because they knew that this was gonna continue. They thought that this was gonna continue downwards. So on either side, up or down, on either side we have a very nice range to trade. 4% here, and then I think the other one would be the bigger level, and it would be 10%. Yes. Now you have to keep in mind that last week was a very eventful week. We had a 10% drop, and then we had almost a 20% lift. So everything was moving within our ranges. What I noticed last week was, and that's what helped me stay very centered and calm in everything that was going on, because there were big moves, but all these moves were moving within the ranges. So this is still sideways ranging. This is not going anywhere. At the moment, there is no breakout in sight. Yes, we are above the 20 and we are above the 55. In order to make this sustainable, we need at least a back test. And I've said that a lot of times, and again, more often than not, it has proven to be true. That doesn't proof us against you know, a market push, but this is how I see it, depending as per my TA. So this is what my TA tells me it's gonna happen. So these would be the possible trades. Of course, I don't have to tell you. I believe that the way this week is gonna go is downwards. So we're gonna see some sideways and some downwards movement and motion. And there might be a couple of swings in this channel as well, until it decides to break. And this channel, I believe, will be breaking down. So my downwards scenario on the daily still holds. This with a lift up and a break of the divergence line is the least likely. I believe we're gonna have something along these lines. So it hit it and came down 2 steps. 1 step, 2 step. 2 steps from here would be 1 step to here, more sideways, and then the second step to here, 500 or $600 Ethereum. So that would be my long-term scenario that I have in mind. I don't see a lift up and a bull run in this context. Now that's it for Ethereum. Michael, do you have any questions as far as this is as far as I've presented it. Okay, no worries if you.
No questions.
Okay, where were you thinking? Where were you thinking of exiting your short?
I put in a while when I wasn't watching, like sleeping and other things, I put in an order to sell about half of the position at 1575 before, and I might adjust that up to 1580. I don't know. We'll see.
Excellent. Well, it's still very close to what I have. Very good.
Yeah.
I think 15.
Yeah, my own analysis, I felt that it's going to do more or less what you're saying, but it's nice to hear someone else say it too. I mean, it's not a guarantee that that will happen, but since you've been in this a lot longer, you're not out since lot better success record. It's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And it's not that it's a big amount of money that I'm sure, but still, it affects me because it's like, if I'm not doing pretty good over time, I start to get frustrated. I have been doing good, but this one, I went in too soon with the first. And the rest of them, I don't think I really went in too soon. It's just a matter of it's a big stop loss, like you said, or something's going on,
Yeah.
And so whatever, we'll see.
Yes. Well, that's what we need to do at the moment. We need to keep an eye on it. And going in too soon with the first DCA is a common issue. Like that's why I have these levels on both XRP and Bitcoin, so that they prevent me from DCAing in too soon. And I put the orders in, whether, like for instance, I'll show you on Bitcoin. Bitcoin looked like it had topped out, but I still had a DCA and I kept it because I know that if it goes up that high, chances to retrace down are higher, and it will also give me a much better position. So that's why I put my levels in for DCA in according to the TA that I have on the screen, not what price action is doing, and I don't change them. I might change. There are traders that don't change their profits. For instance, they put in the profit at the start and they don't change that. I might change my profit because, again, depending on how the trade is going, I might see a double bottom or a double top, and I choose to take my profit then and there, rather than wait. Because I do trade 5, 6, 7 days a week, so I have the chance to go into another trade rather than wait for that one stubbornly to give me the profit. So I might change my profit, but the DCAs I don't change, because they wouldn't give the same percentage advantage. So, but again, it took experience to develop that discipline, because I would be doing the same thing. I remember I once did the same thing on an XRP trade and ended very much margined to cover an early DCA. Now, because we were talking about that, I just noticed that I want to put the validation and invalidation lines. Okay, so this would be the validation line. The 1750 would be the validation line for the up. How do I? I want to edit the. I can't edit. This is weird. This is weird. Let me take a. There we go. Copy. So the 1750 paste. No. I will be editing them on my laptop. So the seven, but I'll tell them to you now. So the 1750, but with the breaking of the previous high. So 18. Do you know what? I'm gonna actually move it higher. I'm gonna move it higher. I will leave the target where it is. Do you know? No, I won't. I will rejig these two trades and turn them into one, because this is the true space it's moving in. The moves last week made the space be a little bit bigger. So right now we're talking about maybe not so many trades, but we're talking about trades that could be bigger in target. So this would be, yeah, this makes much more sense now. So the 1780 line would be the validation for the upwards move, whereas we have I would say the midline here, this midline here of the channel, but I will take this line. Yeah, this line would be the confirmation of the downwards move. Yeah, validation of the upwards, validation of the downwards. That's how I would would separate it. So 1650, breaking the 1650 confirms more downwards movement, and of course holding below it, and breaking the 1780 confirms there's more movement to the upside. So that would be the validation and invalidation. With Bitcoin, we are in a strange space, because we are caught between I'll show you the full trend here. So this is a descending wedge, but it has a lot of overflow space here to move in. And this is the ascending channel that it broke out of. And yes, it is back testing it. It hasn't confirmed back into it. And by confirming back into a channel, I'm talking about properly having a one-day candle, because this is a one-day channel back into it. This is the arc with a double top situation. So this would be resistance peak here. And this yellow line, this would be the divergence line on the way down for this swing. So unlike Ethereum, Bitcoin did its own thing. It did a higher high last night, and it had a big explosion after all of this consolidation. Like, we've been in this consolidation for almost, I think, 3 months. So it did do a big lift, and it came up above the 20, came up above the 50. It looks honestly great for a lift. And it could be doing its own thing. Like, I think we're coming now at a crossroads where I'm looking at Bitcoin, and I think Bitcoin, might decide to go up while the rest of the market either stagnates or comes down. So this is what it looks like to me. But of course, for that to be confirmed, we need to get back into this channel, and later we need to break this, which is the 25K. And if we break the 25K, 30K is next in line. What I believe will happen is not that. I think a lot of it's not that today. So this was the back test. So we dropped out. This was the back test. If we get rejected here, I believe we're going to come down to meet the technical target of the channel, which is 1780. And by doing that, we actually turn this channel into a sideways channel. So this would be a sideways channel. And then we would be working in this space here. A lot similar to what Ethereum is doing. So again, we are talking about a long-term situation, but this week I believe we might see a drop back into this triangle, some more sideways, and if we see some more sideways, the 17,800 might be it. I don't want to be, a perma bear thinking, oh, it's always going down, but this is what the TA shows. This swing hasn't had a correction. Like it's had its step 1, step 2, step 3. We have our 3 steps up. They seem to be complete here, to be honest, but then it did one more leg up. This happens. It's not like this doesn't happen. This happens. So here are the scenarios that I'm looking at for this week. And again, the space is between the 18.6 and the 22.6. So we have a space of 2K for Bitcoin to move between. What the first trade to do, as with Ethereum, is the trade from where it is right now to down to the next support and resistance line, which is the 21.2, which is where I was looking at taking my profit from my short. And then I was like, no. This is actually, looking at the bigger time frame, this is actually gonna go at least to the 0.5, which is down here. Now I'm gonna keep these white lines on for the rest of the week. I know this is getting a little bit too much with the charts, but I think we can still read it. So this is these two, the 22.2, which is 21.2, sorry, which is the next support and resistance line, and the 20,300, which is the next support and resistance line. We have a lot of levels here for Bitcoin, because what it did last week is blow through all of these. This one was the only one that was back tested. This level wasn't back tested. This level wasn't back tested. None of these were back tested. So the more conservative target here would be the 0.5 at 20,200. My target is 19,900 here, a little bit above the golden pocket, back testing this level. I'm not gonna wait for it to back test. I know it will back test. I'd rather take my profit earlier. Also connecting these two, the trend line and the golden pocket. So I won't be, I won't be stubborn for $300 worth of difference here for Bitcoin. So I'll choose the more likely level. So that would be the next level to take profit. And of course we would have another one down, and I won't be putting arrows, because I will be putting these path arrows day by day. I'm just going to put these targets. The next one would be the bottom level here. I'm not so sure. Like if I'm looking at this, I'd say the next level won't be the 18,600, and by this I mean the daily channel. The next level won't be the 18,600. It will be the 17,800. But if I'm shorting it, if I am in a short at that moment, I would be putting 18K600 for a target, because that would be the solid target, the more likely target to reach. This whole swing was very sudden, very abrupt, completely justified. Like, again, it's moving between the levels it has set. It's not opening new spaces. It has been compressing here. It has been compressing here. So there was compression here. And after all of that compression, expansion is necessary. We have had bearish divergences in terms of RSI. Last night, more volume came in with this candle here that made a higher high, but now this morning volume is dropping. I guess it takes the opening of the futures market in New York to show us where this is gonna go. I believe the 1 hour is exhausted, and the 1 hour will take a breather, and it will give me that correction. I'm not sure that correction will happen today, all the way down to the 19,900, or if it's going to take a couple of days for that. Now I'm looking at the vector candles here on the 1 hour, and we have the reversal vector combination, the green and the purple. So we have a stop volume to the high, and then we've had this a little bit of residual pump energy here, which did a lower high, which is again the rule of the top formation in play. We will have the top formation confirmed as a top formation and coming down as it breaks this 21.2 level, which is also the support and resistance line here. So these would be the 4 downwards levels to be tested and to be traded this week. But we also have to look at where this is going on the up, because I don't want to be one-sided in this. This could come down to this line, back tested, and do another leg up to the 25k. Absolutely. Now it could also do a 0.5, back test the 0.5, go up to here, and then continue upwards. The validation for the upward move, so my longs would start when the 22.5 breaks. So I wouldn't, yes, I would be longing these shorter levels if I see structure, but not so eagerly, because again, I want to see this swing corrected, and I'd like to see these levels back tested. Otherwise, it would just be a failed lift. We could also long these very mindfully if we start the trade with maybe, let's say, a third of our position in, rather than a full position capital for the start, and then DCA in. We could also do that and be mindful of the longs. And by I'm saying we could do that because as long as we're keeping above the 20 on the daily at 20,900, the trend is still up. I don't believe this trend will continue being up. I think this is a stop loss hunt situation, collecting liquidity. Well, not a hunt because it's not as abrupt as a hunt, but that's how I see it. But yeah, the same levels could be traded upwards. The only level to add upwards is breaking this top line, and in which case the next support and resistance is 25. I'll be moving it here. Okay. There we go. So yes, that could happen too. That's why we need to watch this, and we need to have capital either to build up the shorts, so DCA when something like this happens, or to cut our losses and go with the market as it moves upwards. So at the moment, the trend would be up for Bitcoin, but this swing that has happened these 5 days is not so sustainable. Sorry, I take it back. Not these 5 days because yes, these 5 days, yes. I had a feeling that Bitcoin started later than the rest. I think it was a little bit later than XRP, but it's still 5 days. So I still think this swing is not solid enough in itself to continue going upwards without a correction. The 0.5 would be the most conservative, back to the 20,300, and that would still allow the 20 on the day to hold and continue upwards for the uptrend. If that 20 on the day breaks, I think the 19.5 would be the best level for support. And again, it could build up structure there. It has plenty of support there to build up structure and continue going upwards. We'll see day by day how it goes. But the point I'm trying to make for Bitcoin, as I made for Ethereum, would be we are moving within the same preset space. We might see a similar compression of space, a similar compression of price action to the right side now as we are coming down. So we might see, we came down in steps with price compression. We might do the same here. Though, generally when swings go up like this, they come down equally as fast. So that's where we are. Again, I've already posted these projections. I'll post the levels to follow as well, and that's it for me. If you guys have any questions, let me know.